don't you think this thing through, little nigga? What the fuck?
Hello YouTube, it's Lady Vet here to break down Tariq's most recent hallucination scene. He has had several bouts of hallucinations, but this was the first drug-induced one. Now the first of several hallucinations was just prior to the shooting of Ghost. Kanan appeared in truth to further guide Tariq into what would become his destiny.
Kanan? Yeah, that's me. And you about to let a bitch do your dirty work. I thought I tucked your ass better than that.
Nah, man, you don't understand.
You've been doing me proud, kid. Ooh, really, that was some savage shit you just did at the top. I'm telling you, light his ass up.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that to him, no.
It's okay, I ain't gonna tell nobody.
I also recall an hallucination or dream where Kanan appeared at Stansfield to remind Tariq that he needed to man up and stop relying on Matasha. Kanan reminded Tariq that he sent her to Witsec and told him that he knows what to do, so he should toss the burner.
I'm going to sit the way, man. Nah, it's supposed to be on the bad shit, right? You know what you gotta do. Blow the fuck up. Toss that shit.
Kanan actually challenged Tariq to be on some grown man stuff or not. I guess Tariq wasn't mature enough, so again, Kanan was in his ear. When Kane set Tariq up for the Jabari Ramirez murders, Kanan appeared in the cell with Tariq to help him refocus his attention to the board and not solely on taking the Tejadas out for setting him up.
The damage is done. You can't outgun him now. It's still gonna be on you.
I was smart like I always do.
You sound funny sitting here talking about Ops 112.
Kanan hallucinations refer to the experience of hearing, seeing, or smelling things that are not there. Nothing like his drug-induced hallucinations.
Kanan's a shooter, man. He wasn't a thinker.
Who controlling that nigga moves?
So I had to put this plan in his head and he's just executing.
Who telling him what to do? Who's telling? You know, sometimes it's the ones you love the most.
Then L took over and dosed Tariq with a few drops of acid. In my opinion, Tariq's hallucination was a depiction of his life as is. To date, Tariq's world has been dark and chaotic, and so it stands to reason that he would be fascinated by the light. Tariq has been torn between two worlds since he started moving product. While there was no real difference between Tariq and Ghost, Tariq spent time convincing himself that he is nothing like his father and that he is so much more smarter than Ghost. His biggest mistake is thinking that he found another way to stay in the game without going to jail or facing death. Tariq's thinking and attitude caused L to bring Tariq down a notch or two by drugging him. Tariq's last hallucination was drug-induced, meaning it included visual senses along with flashes of light or abstract shapes and forms of people. More often, visual distortions occur that alter the person's perception of the world around them. Clearly, the latter is true concerning Tariq. His perception of the world around him gives him false hope of being at the top to solve his problems with his enemies. But the ego death episode was more about the disappearance of an individual's sense of self or the removal of one's perception of oneself as an entity separate from one's social or physical environment. Thus, the idea of Tariq surrendering to himself just to transition to become the apex predator. Tariq saw a future as a married dad, welcoming his son home. As he gazed away from a smiling wife, he and his son quickly out of the line of fire from brother-in-law Kane, his biggest hater besides Norma and Detective Carter. Like father, like son, Tariq had one foot in what looked like a wholesome family life, and the other foot so deep in the game until there was only one real way out. Tariq even found himself looking at blue-green abstract colors, green symbolizing renewal, life, growth, and can also be greed, jealousy, and possessiveness, with blue symbolizing stability, wisdom, truth, and can be coldness and sadness. Tariq's stash colorization was interrupted by an upset Diana appearing to kill him for lying to her about not getting out of the game. Quite the contrast from Ghost and Tasha, where he wanted out and she loved the idea of her husband being the biggest drug dealer in New York City. Tariq's most notable visual almost mirrored Power Season 6 when he confronted his dad about getting in the way of his future and ultimately shooting him.
Just confess. Fuck you. Fuck you. I fucking hate you. Don't force my hand, son. If we work together, I know you can be the man that I want you to be.
Except the struggles were so enormous for Tariq that he saw himself in himself. Because a part of him wanted a normal life, he had a difficult time recognizing the self that would propel him to be the man that his father wasn't. While Tariq's shooting Ghost dealt with their continuous conflict and acted as a resolve, Tariq's hallucination dealt with self-conflict, his inability to supposedly outshine Ghost, his desire to be the best in the game, and his more recent idea to become the apex predator. Unlike the father-son struggle of Tariq and Ghost, Tariq surrendered to himself, inspiring a shift in his priorities. At one point, Tariq asked himself, "Who are you?" He had become so detached from himself that he didn't recognize himself. He told himself that he was everything that he wanted to be if he stopped doubting himself. He made an attempt to kill himself, but was reminded by himself that he couldn't be killed when he's at the top of the game. Nonetheless, he and himself bonded and leaned on a quote from Canaan. You know that it would always come to this. Tariq was sure that once he was at the top, he could seamlessly care for his loved ones and that he needed to be all in to accomplish this goal. In part 2 of the final season, I expect Tariq to be a savage, using all the tools from Ghost, Tommy, Dre, and that beast Canaan. Tariq's enemies are mounting. Will he outsmart them all on his rise to the top? Will he get help? If so, then who? I'm sure that the answers lie in part 2 of the finale. Until the next time, guys.